Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and today we've got a brand new installment of This Week in EDM with, I guess, a little puppy. He wanted to join, I had to re-record, and he did not want to be left alone again. So, we're doing this again. As always, there's a Spotify link down below for all the songs and easy access listening, and this is just my opinion. Do not take them as gospel truth, so let's hop into it. Starting us off in the trash category is the ATLiens remix of One Last Breath, originally by Creed. I mean, I just straight up don't know why this remix exists, and saw the light of day. It doesn't sound like ATLiens in their prime, and definitely doesn't sound much like Creed anymore with those push-down vocals. Then, in the bad category, we've got INFEKT with RELIC. I'm really not trying to be a Riddim hater here, guys, but yeah, this track I do not understand. I get that the main synth is muddied and muffled on purpose, but I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't think it sounds all that great. The melody also isn't all that interesting, and this one's, I guess, just not for me. Then in the meh category, we've got Shades, EPROM, and Alix Perez with Godless from the new The Lower World EP from all three of them. Other than the established eerie and creepy undertone, this track isn't really doing much. It's one of those songs where the sound design is great, but the melody and beat are fairly stale in their own right. Then we got Armin van Buuren and Seth Hills featuring Alessia Labate with Gimme the Love. Armin van Buuren has had his high highs and low lows, and now this is his mid-mid. This track doesn't really do anything for me. It's a nostalgic Eurocore track with bright synths and a jumpy melody, but otherwise is fairly uninteresting and fairly generic. Then we've got Thirst with LIGHTSHOW, a decent mid-tempo funk cut with a fairly repetitive structure yet stellar mixdown. Just a touch too generic in execution for me, but I guess that kind of is funk. Then we got Cartoon, NCT, and VALLO featuring Ukareda and Pasha with Around Us. A light and breezy liquid drum and bass cut with a bit of a hip-hop edge to it, but fairly subtle. It's a short track, it doesn't really have a ton going on, though I do still think it's a pretty simple earworm of a track. Then we got Fabian, Mazur, and Dread MC with Dread's Riddim. I don't know how explicitly Riddim this track really is, and it's more kind of just a pure bass track, but regardless, it's a decent track with a distinct feel and vibe to it. My biggest gripe is that it's a little empty at times and repetitive also, so maybe it is truly a Riddim track in the end? Then we got Black Tiger Sex Machine, Hairitage, and Hyro the Hero with Ricochet. A pretty decent track with a rock and drop, one that gets absolutely nuked by poor mixing. I think stylistically the main rock-infused dubstep movement works actually really well, but that mixing, I think it makes the track borderline unlistenable. It just kind of sucks the whole life out of those big drop movements. Then we got Pluko and Aloboi with Too Loud from the new Oxy LP out now by Pluko. A little surprised that this was the release single to be pushed, as I thought this track in particular was one of the weaker of a fairly stellar album in its own right. This song in particular doesn't just have that dynamicism that the rest of the record did, and I definitely would give the rest of this album a listen, but do think this song in particular was a little underwhelming. And heading into the good category, we've got A- and Mad Dubs with Open Up. Another wild Riddim cut from these two, and I'm honestly feeling this one. Don't know why I wasn't feeling INFEKT, but feeling this. But, I mean, I love the longer movements, and I think that first drop was simply fantastic. It's not close. Then we've got Wink with Proxy. Wink tackling a grime-heavy track with a full, dense drop section, only to let up in what would be the verses for a breath of fresh air, only to then suffocate you again with an overpowering sound. A fairly unique cut for sure, and one that I think lives and dies by its sound design. Yeah, this portion's just right. We're launching tonight. Get ready up top. We got NGHTMRE, Flowden, and Sully with Up Top. This new era from NGHTMRE is really fascinating right now, as this track is a mixture of standard drum and bass beats, trap-like melodies, and hip-hop influences all over this thing, just because, I mean, Flowdan's on this. But yeah, fairly interesting track, but one that I don't really see myself revisiting a whole ton. We'll have to see how this one lasts for me in the couple weeks to come. Then we got Midas featuring Luma with Symptoms. One of Midas's best melodub tracks in quite some time. It falls into some of the tropes of the genre, yes, but otherwise, I think was executed well and has a nice soft palette across the whole thing. Then we got Hole with Dead Daw. Hole is definitely getting up to the same old song and dance with this one, but for some reason, I think it just works better than some of his other stuff is. Maybe because it's a little bit more reserved and relaxed by Hole standards, but I'm a fan, honestly, and this is another one that I think really is goes well because of its sound design. Then we got DJ Snake and Space Laces with Reloaded. I'm labeling this as the angriest song in bass music this year because this thing is loud, it's aggressive, it's in your face, and unrelenting in every aspect. I loved the first drop and final movement, but thought the hardstyle midsection was a bit underwhelming. Then we got Oliverse and Illiman with Wake Up from the new Illusions EP out now by Oliverse. An aggressive dubstep cut with a nasty melody that really calls me back time and time again. It's super thick and meaty and really complemented quite well by Illiman's vocals. Then we got Nufori, Ilwll, and AlienBlaze with Stormseeker. Stylistically, a track that's got some funk, dream pop, electro clash. There is a lot going on in just a short 2-minute runtime here, but I do think it all sounds quite fantastic. I just wish there was more of it, but hey, I guess that's the style, I guess. Then we got Reaper and AC13 featuring Hadara with Face to Face. Reaper has done a great job of adjusting his sound from what was getting fairly stale for a little bit, but still sounding inherently like Reaper now. This is a crushing dance floor drum and bass track with another meaty hook that just gives and gives. Then we got Conroe with Let Go. Another bright and airy summer house track from Conroe. I especially love the final little movement in the outro. It's a fun, carefree, just summer banger. Then we got ISOKNOCK featuring Aria and Surback with Blind, the Rave Mix. A new hands-up hardstyle mix for Blind, and I really do love the new spin on this track, especially with the brighter vocal chanting. It's uplifting, will get you going, and has the perfect amount of separation from the original to stand out in its own right, but still very much sound like the original as well. We got Chill with Make Believe. A great track from Chill here that's probably her best solo one. It's got a great balance of regular house, speed house, and even some trap elements sprinkled all throughout. I think this is the most intentional atmosphere that Chill has crafted as well. And yeah, I'm excited for whatever new EP I think is coming out here soon from Chill. We got Just a Gent and Marnie featuring Ruse with In My Eyes. A steady house track from Just a Gent with all the special bells and whistles of sound design and style that comes from production from Just a Gent. This one is a bit more relaxing and chilled out future house, but this sounds oh so nice. And in the standout category, we've got Skybreak with Street Garden. I am honestly so in love with this new Half-Blood era from Skybreak, and this is probably my favorite release of the 3 singles so far. It's a plucky garage track that has all of the Skybreak unique sound design and production elements, and even tackles a narrative of finding your own self-worth. And finally, the emerging artist spotlight of the week goes to Convexity and Trail Mix with Wicked Nasty. I'll be honest with you guys, if this had to go in a standard category, this actually would be in standout. I'm a sucker for Complexity's unique blending of nostalgia, funk, and modern dubstep sound design. It's a wild song with a million twists and turns and is oh so brilliant. But that's been This Week in EDM. Let me know what you guys think of any and all songs in the comment section below. But other than that, I'm Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I'll see you guys in another